and Nathi being Sizulu. Hi, Gina, are you with us?
Hi, I'm here. Good evening.
Okay, great. There, we've got you there. I was saying to you, I was quite intrigued while I was reading the name HolaNathi, because obviously it's a combination of two of South Africa's languages, Sesotho and Sizulu. Yes. And I actually thought of HolaNathi as in Hola. So tell us about the name. How did you come up with that?
Well, it was quite intentional. I firstly wanted to create a name that is South African, proudly South African, and something that I could trademark. Yet something that, international bodies would look at and think it's super cool. And also, if you look at our logo, we've taken inspiration from the Ndebele tribe. So I tried to make it, encompass various cultures within South Africa. And yeah, it's a very unique name, but I do like it. And there's some great things in the pipeline with regards to Hola and Nathi put together. Okay,
so we'll get to the scientific aspect in just a moment, but I must ask this question. Obviously, you're a former model, Miss Teen SA as well, and I know a lot of us, when we watch these competitions, we see people often being asked about either their philanthropic work or perhaps charitable ideals. Is this something that you thought was expected of you? What drives you to found such a foundation?
I think it's a question that a lot of people ask me, but I think I grew up, my father is a doctor, and I think, from when we were little, even when he was sick, he always said, I can't stay at home, I have to go and serve the people. So I think that was kind of, it's the way I was brought up. And I have a very deep-rooted passion to help people. It's not always easy to find a way where, you can, in a sustainable way, help people long-term. But I think I finally found a way. And no, I don't think something is sustainable if you do it, if you think, that's what is expected of you. It's just a really deep-rooted passion. And I've also walked a long journey. I have a compromised immune system, so I really do walk my talk. I, more than anyone, actually do know, and I have a doctor as the father, so I actually have access to medication and good nutrition, yet my immune system is compromised. So, there's even a bigger passion there, because it's a personal journey, and I really want to make good nutrition accessible to the masses.
So, Gina, if you don't mind sharing your story about how your immune system is compromised and how that led you to develop what you say is a scientifically sustainable way for nutrition for those who are obviously underprivileged.
So, I actually, a few years ago, I was diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune disease. It's something that's not curable. However, the doctors have always said to me, you need to really look after your immune system, make sure that you start with good food, get adequate nutrition into your body. And also there's different ways of doing that, so, also not be too stressed. And I think something else, what really works well for me is I have found my purpose. And if I can give back to people the way that I am now, I think it also has something to do with making you feel better on a physical way.
So since establishing this, where have you taken your products? And I'm sure people, the first thing would want to know is, does it taste good?
So when I started, I actually didn't really know much about, product development and where do I even begin? I contacted industry leaders and I gave them a mandate, and I said, create something that is compliant with your NRVs, your recommended daily allowances, something that is affordable, because it doesn't help we create something amazing, yet not accessible or affordable. And then most importantly, it's also important that it tastes good. So affordable, compliant, and palatable.
Okay, so
and yes, it does taste really good. And the nice thing about my product, I must say, we're getting quite a bit of attention from international bodies as well, because I think a lot of aid that comes to South Africa and to other African countries actually come predominantly from Belgium and international, overseas. So what I did is I went and looked at what is South Africa's staple food. And, it is pap. And I remember my mom making some delicious creamy pup in the morning for us, and would put butter and sugar. So you need to honor our heritage, and it's very difficult to target malnutrition in a country where you're trying to teach people about good nutrition, but who's going to think about nutrition when they don't even know when their next meal is? So I wanted to create something where I don't have to convince people to eat it. That job is already taken care of with the taste. And it's also, part of our heritage. It's our staple food. We just re-engineered it with a very high protein intake, and predominantly that comes from milk powder, a really A-grade milk powder. And then we further enriched it with vitamins and minerals. So naturally, maize meal in South Africa is fortified. We've further developed it and created a very special vitamin premix, which we add into the porridge, and then also milk powder. So yeah, it's low GI. It has very little sugar. It tastes really good. It's got a tremendous amount of vitamins and minerals, specifically for the vulnerable. So it gives you adequate nutrition for the people that don't ordinarily have access to good nutrition.
Is there anything else besides maize?
Yes, so we have a few different products. We have the porridge, which you can eat in the morning, and then we have we looked at the nutritional school feeding programs, and we looked at what are given to the kids or what's prescribed to the children, and we created our recipes to be in accordance with legislation. So we have another meal which is rice, soya mince, and dehydrated vegetables. The nice thing with the dehydrated vegetables is, often there are smallholder farmers and their crops not really adequate to be sold in the superstores. So with dehydrated vegetables, you take the vegetables, you dehydrate it, you lock in the nutrients at that time. So it doesn't really matter what the crop looks like. And
Gina, just a quick one. By the way, looking at the background behind you, it looks like you're making a lockdown a little more pleasant for yourself. How has it treated you? Are you struggling with it? And what have you been doing?
So I have actually been going into the factory and to work. During lockdown, we have to ensure that we're still, making sure to deliver the food to everyone. We have to continue doing the work that not everyone can at the moment. And we've put quite drastic measures in place from, to be in accordance with the COVID-19 restrictions. So although it is very nice here, I do get out. So, but the times that I'm not at the factory, I'm at home working, and I try to create a sacred space at home so that I can still, I think it's important to, you're not actually stuck or locked down at home. You're just staying safe. And I try to always tell people, change your mind. There's always hope.
Well, from what we see, you certainly seem to have done well and achieved that. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and all the best with your entrepreneurial, philanthropic work as well. Former Miss Teen South Africa model and female entrepreneur, as I said, Gina Athans. She has developed some scientific products to help those with challenges of nutrition who are underprivileged through her foundation, HolaNathi.